Liv Morgan facing off against Rhea Ripley. Liv Morgan, of course, going in as your women's world champion, defending against Rhea Ripley. But the story here, as everyone knows, was the love triangle that is and was Dom, Liv, and Rhea. And again, if you guys know me, I don't go through shit hold by hold. I don't have the attention span for that. The main thing in this match, though, I will say there was a really cool moment where Liv hit her. So her finishing move is called the Oblivion, right? So she hit just a beautiful Oblivion, like maybe midway or kind of more towards the end of the match. And that had me. I was like, yo, that was just fucking beautiful. Like her execution was just so well done. So props to her for that. And I think as a whole, between her character development and her in-ring work, I think Liv has just really just knocked it out of the park, especially this past year and some change, maybe closer to 2 years, but definitely the past year for sure. And I'm super stoked to see what they do with her going forward and her character development going forward. If they're going to make her an alpha or if Dom's going to be the alpha, because of course the ending of the match, we did have, and there was a moment too, kind of want to pick your brain on here because I saw some mixed feedback. There was a moment where Liv was, I think it was like a suicide dive. Yeah, it was a suicide dive. Liv was going to hit on Dom on Rhea, and Dom was standing right there. Dom pushed Rhea out of the way.
That just happened as I'm watching it now.
Shit,
I have
really?
it going on in the background. It just happened.
That's crazy. So Dom pretty much like kind of sacrificed himself for Liv. Some people were like, if they knew and Dom knew he was going to end up causing Rhea at the end and kind of turning his back on Rhea, why end up doing that? And the same thing for when Rhea was going to hit Liv Morgan with the chair in the match. Some people again were like, and the feedback that I read too, kind of with the mixed reviews of the show overall as a whole, was that there was like that dumb babyface syndrome shit that people talk about. And to me, like, I don't, maybe I'm naive on or biased on a couple of these, but especially with Rhea and Punk that we'll get to later, I didn't see it with Rhea. I think with Rhea, yes, she had the match won and she could have gotten the 3 count after she hit the first Riptide, but she's pissed. She's incensed. She is a woman scorned, right? She is mad at Liv for, first of all, injuring her, right? And making her have to relinquish her title, take all this time off. Now Dom is conflicted, so this time off, it's one of the things where like you can't even trust a former friend of yours, right? She's out there flirting with Dom, getting pretty much infiltrating Judgment Day. So yeah, Rhea's gonna be pissed. So yes, she could have sealed the deal, won the match right there, but she wanted to go that extra mile. Potentially hit Liv. That's when Dominick obviously stops her. People are like, why would he do that? And in my thing, I have a pretty simple answer for it. My thing is Dom knew obviously he was going to help Liv at some point when he needed to, right? So why would he want his new girl to get hit with a steel chair? Like, same thing with you, right? If your wife was about to get hit with a chair, you would go in there and stop her. Like, even if you like, it's just the same thing. Like, you would do what you got to do to protect your girl, right? So that's what he was doing. So
when wrestling makes sense, it's the best thing.
Yeah.
Because there's so many things that happen so far-fetched where it's like, all right, I get why you want to do it, but it doesn't make sense in the real world. That's something, it literally made sense. Stop somebody so they could not be disqualified to win the belt. 100% reality. It makes sense.
Yeah, in the moment it made sense because he's telling Rhea, hey, you're not going to win the title like this. Don't do it. And in the end, looking back on it, it's like, yeah, he didn't want Liv to get beat and demolished with a steel chair because obviously Rhea is pissed. In that moment, she's not thinking straight because clearly she had because she even thanked him. She's like, you're right. Thank you. Like, you're right. She had a moment of, I'm just going to beat this woman's ass. And she's like, okay, yeah, let me win my title and then go from there. So the ending of the match came. And it was kind of, I think I even mentioned this in my preview show, but I don't know if it was for this one or not, but it was a situation where he slid the chair in the ring. It was kind of like, what is he doing type of situation, but then Dominick distracted the referee. Liv Morgan hit the Oblivion onto Rhea Ripley, onto the steel chair, threw it out, got the 1, 2, 3. And it was, I just think it was so well done because Liv clearly wasn't expecting Dom to help her, and I think that's the vibe that we should have gotten from it. That's why I'm very intrigued to see what happens on Monday. She was pretty much surprised, just celebrating out at ringside. Then Dominick walks over. Rhea's, kind of regathering herself in the ring. Dominick walks over to Liv, picks her up, and then just kisses her. And I think, and Liv is shocked. Obviously, Liv is like, like as Dominick's bringing her up, Liv is shocked. And then, of course, after he kisses her, she's even more just in heaven. They skip to the back and do whatever they're gonna do. We did get follow-up today from Dominick. I don't know if you saw it on Twitter. He did take a picture.
I did
I think
not.
it had to be in like a hotel room or something.
Oh, I did see the picture.
He
Yeah.
did the picture of the chicken tenders and like she knows me so well or some shit like that.
Man.
But he's just I fucking love Dom, and he's I have it right here actually. He's such an asshole. I'm gonna see if I can pull it up really quick. But
he has the most heat in WWE right now.
He does, and it's just so funny to me. It's just so,
and he's had it for a good year. It's been like, when's the last time you've seen somebody go that quickly from? I think when he first started off with Rey Mysterio tag team, like he didn't have a lot of. Yeah, there's a picture.
That's the picture
Perfect.
right there.
Loves chicken tendies, as he says.
Man.
When's the last time you've seen somebody go from so plain generic to no personality to all of a sudden have one full year of heat? Every time he touches the mic, they boo right even before he speaks. So he's done a phenomenal job in his role for what he's done. And I'm a big fan of Dom Mysterio for sure.
Me too. And I love the fact that it was definitive. I didn't want, and I think that's what I said in my prediction show, I didn't want it to be, I didn't want them to drag us on. I didn't want them to be like, I think that's where I brought the scenario, like him sliding in the chair in the ring and it being in the middle of them and then being like, was he really helping Liv or was it for Rhea? I didn't want any of that bullshit. I just wanted to be definitive, and to me it was. Obviously it was. So I really like that. I like Rhea's expression. She didn't lose her mind right off the bat. She didn't go crazy. She didn't run after them. It was kind of a mixture of hurt, shock, anger, and just like, what the fuck, all in once. And I think her reaction on Monday, I honestly wouldn't even have her come out on Monday. I get why you would want to, but I would have Liv and Dom possibly even open up the show. If not open the show, then start off the second hour. And maybe even have Dominick come out first or have them come out as a couple. But man, I just think that the sliminess that you can get out of them two as a couple is just going to be perfect. We'll talk about Judgment Day a little bit later once we get to Damian Priest and kind of how this ties in. But I love this new version of Dom, and I think pun intended, I think he's going to be the Dom going forward. I don't think he's going to be, I don't think it's going to be, mommy's a little bitch or nothing like that. I think he's going to be the man. I don't expect him to be some macho, like, I'm here to save the day type shit, but I think it's going to be a different version of him, and I'm really here for it. So that's my long-winded kind of feelings about it. So what do you say?
Great breakdown. Hey, love it. I love that I could fill in. This is your show. So, yeah, the storyline is great. Like I said, with Dom, his angle individually has been great. Obviously linked with Rhea. Now that it's on and I'm watching, I'm going to try to do this every topic, every match we do. I'm going to try to put the match on just so it's fresh in my head. Is right now they're working the shoulder. Obviously,
I meant to bring up the shoulder. Yeah.
Liv put Rhea on the shelf for what, 2-3 months, whatever it was, 2 months. They worked that angle in, and you love, like, when we talk about wrestling making sense as far as a storyline in the match, not on Raw, whatever. It's like, make it be real. Rhea's coming back from an injury, and what would you do? You would work on that shoulder. Liv worked on the shoulder. You see her popping in a couple times, so it makes it like, all right, she's a little debilitated and she's compromised, and they did that a couple, and they didn't overdo it. They did it, I think 2 to 3 times where she popped it in and a little stoppage, but they didn't milk it.
The first one was on the announce table, right?
Yes.
Is that the one you just saw? Yeah.
Yeah, and then the second one was in the corner that just happened. Actually, she just
in that turnbuckle.
Popped it back in, and I love that angle. Dom being there. Liv has come such a far way as similar to Dom, where she was lost. The Riot Squad group that she was in, the two of her group members get fired, and Rhea Riot or
Ruby Riot.
Ruby, she goes on to AEW, and then she comes back, but she was by herself and she was kind of lost. And she has the image, and in wrestling, let's be honest, just like movies, just like anything, we want to look at good-looking people, and Liv Morgan is a very good-looking girl, and she's short. But she's also looks athletic. She had to have time to develop as a person promo wise. Her promo is light years ahead of what she was even a year ago or even 6 months ago. So credit to her for developing. I think she wants to be an actor and all that stuff. Man, just the Dominick angle with Liv. Obviously, it's getting a little spicy with the whole, feels a little Attitude Era like with the kissing and the love. But they, unlike the Vince McMahon era of the 2000s with an angle like this, they didn't get too crazy, weird, and creepy about it.
Yeah.
It was done very well, where a lot of things, what Vince McMahon didn't do is a lot of it is unsaid. Like, you don't have to have them kissing, making out, doing weird sexual things all the time. It's always implied, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what Triple H gets as far as the creative. It's like a lot of it was developed well with the storyline. Are they hooking up? Are they together? Yes, they kissed that one time a month ago, which really made this what it was. But I think they did a great job. I had, I forget what you had prediction-wise, but I had Liv Morgan winning only because I had a feeling they would do this longer term. I knew it wasn't going to just end here. I knew they wanted to take advantage of this. Hasn't gotten to the max out. We're not tired of this storyline yet necessarily. Mm-hmm. So I knew they would, Liv would win, and we would have a little bit, Dom, whatever he would choose, which he did interfere in the match. So I knew they would want to try to prolong it a little bit, and I think they did a great job. Got the chair involved, distraction. Oh, beautiful execution on her finisher on the chair. Nailed the head on the chair, like, perfectly.
Yeah. And I was impressed too with the way she slid the chair out. Like, because sometimes, like, you see wrestlers, like, they kind of like slightly panic. They throw it and it bounces off the ropes, it comes back, and then like the referee, like, it's like the awkward, like, because they're trying to do a quick one getting caught. Just for whatever reason, that impressed me so much. She just, like, quickly, it was just like
so much going on to remember that. Like, that's why, like, I'm always impressed by the little things in wrestling. Mm-hmm. Like we are. It's like the little things where it's like there's so much going on in a match where you have to know what you have to set up for. You're obviously tired, exhausted, and then the little things, get rid of the chair. Exactly. Make sure that the referee, when he comes back, doesn't see it. So those are such little moments. I thought the match, and it wasn't a long match. It was efficient. I just started the match when we started here. It's 10, 15 minutes. That's perfect. 15-minute match. Got the job done. Showed that Rhea Ripley was compromised with the shoulder. So you could say that's why she lost. You could always obviously say the reason why she also lost was because of Dom. So there's a lot there. Mm-hmm. And this will go on. I think the next PLE is in Berlin, Germany. What is that called? Bash?
Yeah, Bash in Berlin.
In Berlin, yeah. So I think that's probably where they'll I would assume Rhea Ripley wins the title, maybe at Bash. Maybe. I mean,
I think we make it for whatever reason, and again, maybe it's standing out to me because I'm trying to go to it, but the Bad Blood pay-per-view that they're having in October, on October 5th, it's a little ways out, but it's right around the corner too. So I feel like a lot of the matches, I think
that's the one they're trying to promote more than the Bash. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, the Bad Blood.
I feel like
you're right.
Yeah, I feel like this one would be just, and I don't know why, but like just the Bad Blood name, I love it, and I think it fits a lot of feuds that are going on. So I think this one obviously could get extended to then. But also I feel like we can, depending on how long they take it, they could potentially get a Hell in a Cell match out of it too. Because I think it would obviously fit Rhea's style, and then Liv is fucking crazy. So I think it'd be really fun to see the brutality from Rhea and the craziness of Liv in a cell. And then obviously Dom is going to be, is he going to be in the cage? Is he going to, there's just a lot you can do with it. And so they could possibly extend it, maybe even out the Survivor Series, which I don't know. It just depends on the mileage that they want to get out of it and the direction and just the longevity that they want to keep Dom and Liv together too. But I think they knocked it out of the park. And then this is, what I kind of wanted to bring up to you as well regarding, this is the first time we saw it in this match, the referee cam. I don't know if you noticed it, but the referees are wearing a video, like a camera in there as an earpiece essentially. And I just thought it was really cool. I'm happy they didn't like flash over to it a lot during the match and really break up the flow of the match. But I think a couple of the replays we showed, like one of them was when Dominick and Rhea were kind of just struggling over the chair. So we got to see the referee's point of view from that. And I just think it's really cool. And I kind of wanted your opinion. Do you think, say what you want about Vince, but he did have a lot of good ideas. And with the XFL way back when, I'm pretty certain was the originator of, I forget what it's called, but it's kind of like that spider cam, that can that they have in the NFL where it goes over the field. I'm pretty confident he was the one who kind of came up with that, and or at least executed it and used it first in the XFL. So WWE is innovative in some ways. Again, I'm not going to sit here and say that they invented this or anything crazy, but I think it's pretty cool. And I don't see why other referees wouldn't do it. And I think it would actually hold a lot of more referees more accountable, because it's like, oh, you're like when you're watching a play and it's like, how you're telling me you're looking right at it and you're telling me you didn't see it. So you can literally see what they see. So just kind of what your thoughts on that. And I know we're taking a lot of time on this opening match, but we can go on.
I mean, it's the most intriguing storyline. That's why they had it lead off the pay-per-view, which should have been. But yeah, love the camera. They didn't, now that I'm looking, the second match with Sami, they didn't have the ref wearing the video. So that obviously they're picking and choosing when they did it. This match they did it, and then they did it with Seth Rollins. So they're not doing it every match.
Testing it out, because that's a lot of equipment to wear too.
It kind of looked awkward when I first saw it without, because I was at a party. We talked off before recording. I was at a party last night, so I had no audio, just watched it. So I didn't hear what that was or explaining it, but obviously I understood it was a camera. Love the angles. It just gives another angle of stuff that you could see in the ring that you normally wouldn't get from a guy on the apron. The cameramen don't go on the apron as much in not as much as in Raw, SmackDown. So different angle. Love that. I love the different production things that they're doing, and they're willing to try things out. And hey, if it sucks, they could easily, just like all of us can, go on Twitter and see if people like it. And if people don't like it, that doesn't necessarily mean you scrap it, but at least you could get like a voice or a good vote of, hey, did this work or didn't it work? So try things out, be new. And that's what I love about this new era in wrestling. It's like new things, camera angles, entrances with the whole, I love the, to start off, the music that they play when Rhea Ripley came out, every time I think about it, I think of Stone Cold and Shawn Michaels. The boom, 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 boom.
Oh,
boom,
yeah.
I love that. Every time I hear that sound, that audio, I think of WrestleMania. What was that? I don't even know the number, 18, whatever it was. Shawn Michaels,
Stone
Cold with I think Mike Tyson.
It was
his last match.
14, 15.
Probably trust your knowledge.
15, I think. I think it's 15.
And every time I think of that, that's when they played it, and them walking to the ring and then their music playing. I love that. I hope they don't overdo it. They save it for special moments and special people in their entrances. That's where I'm always like, try new things, but don't overdo it. Exactly. I love that entrance. I love that music. It always brings me back to that time. So production wise, just to wrap up kind of the first match, love what they did. I thought it was pretty flawless as far as match quality with the storyline. Bad Bloods, October 5th. I just looked. Can they milk this for 2 more months? That's when you're starting to say, will this get a little tired? And we'll see as they introduce new things. But if you give me 2 more months of this, I might get annoyed or sick of it, but we'll have to see. So
yeah,